Yeah, 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 come and take a look at the snow. Bright white as far as your eyesight goes. Come and take a look at the fields of snow. I'll just get my coat, then we're good to go. Come and take a look at the lake. Let's have a quick skate before it gets late. Come and take a look at the frozen lake. Put your clothes on, mate, don't make that mistake.
Greetings, holiday shoppers. There are now 200 shopping days left until Christmas, and you know what that means. It means it's time for another episode of Christmas Creeps, your one-stop shop for holiday movies and TV shows all year round. I'm your host, Joseph Wade. I'm taking over the reins from anime from Bradford, but don't be discouraged because anime is entering extra innings tonight because we have one last trick up our sleeve. Bradford, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well.
Very excited to be here tonight. I've talked about this one for a while, and it's finally here. And I couldn't be any more excited.
I'm excited too because we have two ringers joining us tonight who can talk all about this with you while I sit back and enjoy my beer. Niall and Dwayne from The Secret of the Sailor Madness are returning to talk about anime with us. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hello.
Lads, how are you?
A lot of baseball talk, a lot of baseball centrism here.
It's summer, it's just on the brain, isn't it?
It's summer, I get my head on backwards, and it's time to fucking party.
An all-timer. I can't even remember the last time I went to a baseball game. I feel like you're the only person here who's gone to a baseball game in the last decade.
I'm going to a baseball game next week, as it turns out.
Look at you.
My main experience as an Irishman of baseball is, of course, through manga and anime, and talking about it on a podcast and talking about baseball adaptations in anime for the crack.
That's right, you guys did that a lot. That's right.
I know the basic rules except for why it's so fucking slow, but other than that, yeah, I got the gist.
So you have more time to drink and do crosswords in between.
You can just go to the park and do that here. It's grand. Like, they don't stop you or nothing.
See, I thought it was for extra hot dogs, but that's just me. You need to maximize your hot dog time. Oh boy. Well, yeah, tonight on the podcast we are talking about one last anime for the year before we put it away for another 2 or 3 years or however long it takes. This episode, we're discussing Spy Family Code White. That's how I was told to pronounce it. From 2023 or 24, fairly recent, right? Fairly recent kind of movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just to get this party started, you know what? Grip it and rip it.
There you go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Can check.
Ka-chunk.
Well, in honor of our guests tonight, I'm drinking a Smithwick & Sons Irish Red Ale.
Oh, lovely.
Hey, a fine make.
Pretty good.
How you finding it? Are you usually a red ale kind of guy? You kind of enjoy all sorts, don't you?
The only one I'm not a fan of is an IPA, but everything else is pretty good by me.
That's okay, because I have plenty of IPA to go around.
He's the IPA man around here.
I drink the swamp water around here, around these parts.
Pints all.
Speaking of swamp water, what you got, buddy?
So see, you're much more considerate than I. I should have gotten an Irish bev, but in honor of the theme of our movie, I have a cryptanalysis of Simcoe.
Oh my!
Hazy double IPA. That comes from Elder Pine Brewing and Blending Company.
And there's a pine.
Yes.
There it is.
Exactly.
I mean, it certainly sounds spy enough. I think the other way you could have went with it is go like a German kind of thing, because obviously very German-centric, this anime, that kind of thing. Or ish.
Yes.
Middle Europe.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Dwayne, Niall, any beverages over there?
I have, because we're coming in from Japan's frozen north, I got a nice, very tall 650ml can of Sapporo beer here.
Oh, nice.
Just getting these in now in the local, again, the same greengrocer that I found the other stuff in, and oh my goodness, they're just when you can't have been trekking around on a hot day, you gotta go and get the last few groceries on the way home, and they're just there in the fridge. It's I just want to mop it across your fevered brow.
Yes.
And I even chilled the glass in the freezer, so it's extra cold.
Oh,
Excellent.
I'm drinking out of a beer stein, which is nearly like on theme, but I am just drinking a mango and apple cordial because I'm not a big drinker. I'm sorry I've ruined it.
It's okay. It's not an obligation.
As many times as Jonathan is just drinking water on this podcast, you're doing better than him.
Yes.
Also, hi, Jonathan. We hope you're doing well.
Jonathan's playing Blueprints right now. I think he's doing just fine.
Oh, yeah, man's up top now.
I started, video game chat. I started playing Blueprints as well recently.
How's that treating you?
Very rare is it that I play a game that makes me feel stupid.
Yeah.
Blueprints makes me feel stupid.
And you're just in like the surface level gameplay right now, aren't you?
Oh my god, there's more.
Oh yeah, it's one of those onion games where there's like multiple layers, and yes, you should be taking notes on the pattern of the texture on the couch cushions in the drawing room or something like that. That kind of stuff.
Is it like Inscription, where once I finish what I think is the end of the game, it reveals like a whole completely different game?
No, because Blueprints, the second half of the game is actually good, whereas Inscription kind of outstayed its welcome. Hot take. Anyway.
Well, I agree with you there. Anyway, let's let that be video game chat, because we could talk about Nintendo and stuff for a whole hour, but we have a movie to talk about tonight.
I think you did have an amusing anecdote you needed to relay if you wanted to, but
okay, we'll get there in a moment, because it relates to the film.
All right.
But Brad, do you want to kind of kick us off? What is Spy Family?
Sure. So Spy Family is a recent. So it got its start as a manga in Shonen Jump a number of years ago, and it's kind of come to the forefront as one of the more popular recent entries in Shonen Jump's sort of catalog, and along those lines, it got an anime adaptation, which was very well received. And it was so well received that, as most successful manga and anime do, it got a film adaptation, or not an adaptation, but rather sort of an offshoot. And the way that most of these sort of Jump productions work is it's always a side story, not really, so long as you know the characters, you're set, you're bound to have a good time, but it's not necessarily canon to the overall story arc of what's going on in the main series.
Yeah.
And that's very much the case here as well. It sort of occupies a pseudo-canonical space, is my understanding for Spy Family Code White. But we can go through the main shape of it really quick if you all are ready. Anything to add? Are you?
That's
Niall,
like,
Dwayne,
I just say, like, the usual kind of tie-in thing. It's just maybe it's because this isn't, like, again, it's probably coming from previously written material. We can't just, like, stray too far from the story. So it's usually when the characters will go on holiday somewhere and they'll go and blow that up instead, and it'll all is this veil of plausible deniability as where it lands in the story.
Exactly. Do you all follow Spy Family at all, or not? Not so much?
I've been reading it and bang up to date in it. It's like
I read it today. The new one came out.
Yeah, the new one came out. Yeah, we're on top of it. You know, it's like it's a very like a very prestigious day whenever a new chapter comes out. It's like, yay! It's like Sunday off, smooth Spy Family out, sun is shining. It's great.
Yes, and then you're not going to get another one for 2 months, except for like a one-off 3-pager.
Dude, I'm fine with that, as long as that's better than artist burnout. I'll let them take as long as they need to put out the work.
I am totally fine with that too. I have the opposite problem with One Piece, where it's like, I take 2 weeks off, and it seems like the chapters have multiplied while I was away, and now I have 20 chapters to catch up on. So
I know that he's taking weeks off as well. Like, you know, he's also this like, you know, you should like try and sync your days off so that, you know, he's always just like there and you're ready to go.
Yes.
The thing I was going to add about Spy Family and its I would say like rocketing popularity is you can tell it's the good shit because the amount of imitators and copycats of people coming out with like one shots and even like ongoing series of we gotta have something with spies, we gotta have something with assassins, and it does a lot of that kind of stuff. Like you get that a lot. Like Demon Slayer came out, blew the world open, and then there was, I mean, like even Chainsaw Man was like basically a kind of thematic rip-off of that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like we're fighting devils, we're fighting demons, we're fighting some various kind of monster from hell. I don't know, that kind of thing. But now we're getting a lot of spy stuff. A lot of it's really good, but I think it just shows the quality of it's like this is the new hotness.
Yeah, I just on the Assassin for this kind of like, the John Wick films were very popular, and
it's not unique in itself, but yeah.
So then it's like hidden world of international espionage and intrigue. It's like it's just a zeitgeist right now for certain like bits of the media. So it's just like, hey, everyone's like going wild about this right now.
I can add to this because my wife's been watching a series on Netflix called Sakamoto Days. And I immediately started seeing connections, like similarities between that and this.
God, there's a really funny bit in, like, and it's not spoilers, it's like plot points that come up in both Sakamoto Days and Kill Blue is the other one about, like, that's like Detective Conan crossed with an assassin, which is like Assassin's Shrink to a Child. But like the idea is both plots sort of started veering towards everyone in Japan gets a gun, but then they had to change one of them because it's like, whoa, we can't both be doing this at the same time. It was happening. It was really funny. They came along the same plot point. The editors were not talking to each other.
Again, it's just something. It's also of a zeitgeist, because like in Chainsaw Man, one of the most feared devils out there is the gun devil. It's literally the embodiment of humanity's fear of gun violence. So I know, because like this is it's a scary world out there, and the art is interpreting that.
Yeah.
Brad, were you about to ask me a question?
I was going to ask you, as somebody coming in completely unfamiliar with this series, how well did the first 3 minutes of this movie do on catching you up to speed as to what's going on?
Well, I mean, we get a narrator who kind of loudly explains who each character is and what they do, which I took copious notes on because I thought it would be important. So yeah, I think they did pretty good. This is Loid, codenamed Twilight. Okay, this is what we're doing, and now once we've told you who these people are, now we can start telling our story.
It's one of the second purposes for anime films is, besides like you enjoy the comic, you enjoy the show, go see it in the movies. But like you'd also bring people in from who aren't familiar with those things. They go like, I'll try this thing out. So this would be like people's first sampling of Spy Family, and it's like, and if you like this, read the manga, that kind of thing. So it's a way of getting new folks on as well. So it does have to lay out that stuff at the start, going like, if you don't have a fucking clue what's going on, I really need to explain a couple of things to you.
Well, and it did it very quickly and efficiently too, so I appreciate that as well.
I didn't delete that.
I was very worried that I needed to put together a primer graphic, a la what Dr. Nick did for War in the Pocket, and sort of do a mini podcast where I caught you up to speed. Then I watched the first 5 minutes of this movie, and I'm like, nope, he's set. We're good. We're ready to roll.
No, don't even worry about it.
Yeah. So the only thing, it even does a decent job of explaining sort of the world. Very much sort of a East Germany, West Germany riff. We have Ostania, which is where the most of Spy Family takes place. It's where the Forger family is living. That's supposed to be the East, and then we have the West, Westalis, and there's sort of these two opposing giant forces in anime Europe. I mean, they've
recently come out of a war, and there's now kind of a Cold War and a bunch of spy shit happening. Are you familiar with movies from like the last couple of fucking decades? Like they might have mentioned it at some point.
It sort of exists in that same like branch of time where Lupin the Third takes place, where like it can be up to date, but there's still people going around with like wristwatch communicators, and there's like the dagger in the tip of your shoe, like all this old spy and like pulpy stuff is still like in the mix, but they also have computers,
Yeah, like
the setting is kind of like very European, and the technology level is very like they still use like wired telephones and prop planes and that kind of thing. Like I mean, they still are jets, but they would be new to the time. Yeah,
like history has moved on since then, but like society never progressed past like the '60s James Bond movies.
Yeah,
because they're cool as shit. But
exactly.
I understand. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And I guess like from my perspective coming into it, like the movie that I most closely compared this to was the Bob's Burgers movie, which like if you're a fan of the series, like it's pretty basic for what it is, but if you're just coming at this from the outside, like it explains everything perfectly, and like it's like it's a nice little story on its own, and if you want to dig into it further, there's plenty more. I assume.
There is.
How many more, or how much more rather, is there past this?
It was chapter 117 today. So,
where this takes place after certain characters are introduced. It's like this is about 30 or 14, I think, because you have the presence of like the fellow espionage agent Nightfall, and she's brought in at a later time, and so it's happening around that period in the comic, I suppose.
Okay.
Right. I mean, honestly, not that much has happened in the comic other than character development and backstories past what occurs in this film. There aren't any major sort of movements or characters aside from some folks in Garden, which is kind of where we're at. Garden is the Society of Assassins that Yor works for. So.
Yeah.
It's like, again, because it's not actually from the comic, it's not adapting anything. You could slot this in most places and it'll fit quite comfortably there. So it's one of the problems with a lot of these adaptations. You don't get a lot of like character development and stuff, because they can't be, because it needs to slot in wherever the fuck they're picking up the comic related to that kind of thing. But it does have like this film even has like a little arc for all our main three. Which is kind of exactly what you need, just enough to give them starting at one point, ending at another,
Right.
Yeah. To bring up a similar point, I remember I think it was either the most recent or the second to most recent One Piece film was announced to be canonical, and a lot of people got really up in arms about that they would have to go watch a movie in order to be up to date with with what was going on in the comic, and I think they walked that back a decent amount, because I never watched that movie, and I did feel like I didn't miss anything. But
no, watch that movie, man! It's really good.
I've heard good things. I've been meaning to. It's on my Plex. I just never got around to it.
It's what I always dreamed of. It's the Piccolo movie. It's Piccolo's movie. I always wanted.
What are you talking about? You're talking about One Piece, man, not Dragon Ball.
I thought you said Dragon Ball. Sorry.
No, I said it was the One Piece one. It was the one with like all the musical bits that Otto did a lot of the music for. I forget the name of it.
It's technically canonical, but like it's the standard thing with One Piece movies of there's no possible way that this could take place at any stage in the comic, because none of these characters have been in the same room or are currently alive, or all these kind of problems that they run into.
It's alternate universe shit. Okay.
It's canonical, but it can't possibly be canonical. It's one of those situations. But
yes,
honestly, canon's not that important anyway to, is it a good story? Are you having a good time? Yeah.
Exactly. And we're here to have a good time. And I think this movie is a good time.
And I'll say it too. I had a good time with this.
Good.
I had fun with this one. I want to just touch on what y'all were just saying and compare it to the Marvel Cinematic Universe real quick, because that's the thing that everybody loves to kind of complain about, how you have to have seen this one to understand that one, and you got to go watch that one or else the next one's not going to make any sense. But apparently none of that matters when you're talking about anime films.
Yep.
If they make them
fucking
well.
care. It's wonderful.
They don't care.
Yeah.
But also I'm on the Wikipedia page for this movie, and it says it was the fourth highest grossing Japanese film of 2024. So of course I had to go and see what does the top 10 look like. And the top 10 in Japan is 7 of the top 10 are all anime adaptations, and only 3 are actually live action films of any kind.
Oh my god.
So
nice.
It's kind of a similar situation, but not really to the US.
I'm struggling to think of any, like, are there any live action films that we would know that
there are 3 live action films on here?
Would we know any of them, or are they all like
Last Mile, The Floor Plan, Till We Meet Again on the Lily Hill? These are all Japanese films.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. It just amused me that 7 of the top 10 were adaptations of like long-running anime series.
That's not particularly surprising.
I mean, like, you know, it made these things where we get the real maniacs out. Might get them out multiple times, so that's going to skew your numbers a little bit. But then that also as well, this, like, depending on what the film is attached to, is something that everyone watches on telly anyway. It doesn't matter, of course. Talk about at work, talk about at school. Really good. And again, if they got that designed well, like if they kind of done this well, we can just kind of come in here and be kind of new to it, and maybe they jump in and have fun with it. Maybe you might have heard your friends talk about this, and it's like, oh, I can go see it. They're getting a little bit kind of better at trying to have it open and jump on, because the idea is to try and shift books. You gotta try and shift that goddamn comic, so the more people we can get on at any stage, the better. So we gotta try and like be more considerate and smart about how we make our films and market them.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when the film comes out, what they're doing is they're looking at, does the numbers go up on the book sales, not on the weekend sales kind of thing. That's the thing they're checking for.
I had no
gets
idea.
paid.
And as I understand it, that's kind of the opposite in the U.S., where like Disney really does not care if the next Marvel movie sells any comics whatsoever. That's really not part of their business plan.
No, they aren't selling
they bought the comics for the IP, not to make comics.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess I should steer this ship a little bit. Who wants to? Or I guess let me ask Brad. Brad, do you want to kind of go through our, I guess, dramatis personae here real quick?
Sure.
Okay.
So we have the core of Spy Family is the Forger family. So we've got a couple of people. We have Loid, who, that's not his real name. His alias is Loid Forger, and his code name in the Westless sort of spy organization is, or WISE, I should say, is Twilight. So we don't know this character's real birth name, but as far as we know, he is Loid Forger. Or do we? Am I wrong about that?
No, that's it. Like, and most you see about his background, you see those flashback to him when like Paul saying, "No, war never changes. I don't want to have war ever happen to me again." It's like a little blonde child, obviously him crying with the rubble of a destroyed city. That's the most you kind of get of like what his background is.
Right. Yeah, I think the other kids like say his name is like, "Hey, redacted. How's it going? You want to play football?" It's like all that's been bleeped out of the background, because I think it's not important. It's what the war has made this guy is more important to his characterization. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But we're gonna call him Loid from here on out, because as far as we know, he is Loid, and he has come into a sham marriage with a woman who is, her real name and given name is Yor Breyer, and after she gets married, she is Yor Forger. Her secret, she has a secret as well. She is an assassin for an Austanian group known as Garden. Now, they're not officially associated with the government, but they do receive missions from the government, the Austanian government at times. But she enters into this marriage in order to kind of get the heat off of her, because people are starting to suspect that she harbors a secret and might have something going on.
She's getting into her 30s and she's not married. That's very suspicious. Has anyone called the secret police? And it's probably no one's going to call him on her, but she's kind of like, oh fuck, I need a better cover for this. Whereas he needs a wife for the purposes of entering a school for a long-running mission among the smaller missions. But mainly, to get into the school thing, you need a kid. And that's where our little kid, Anya Forger, comes in.
Yes. So they adopt Anya Forger in order to further Lloyd's mission, which is known as Operation Strix. He is trying to gain access to a prominent right-wing politician known as Desmond Donovan. And he is going to do that by making sure that Anya gets enough merits, also known as Stella Stars, at Eden Academy, the private academy where Desmond Donovan's son is enrolled. So in order to access this sort of meeting of the academic elite, he needs a daughter, and he needs that daughter to be enrolled in an academy, and that daughter...
And he needs her to do good at school.
He needs her to do good at school, which is kind of the main dramatic / comedic conflict of the core of Spy Family, actually.
Okay, so that's the main thrust of the series. Okay.
Yeah, because he's a hyper competent spy, good at loads of things, aware of all this. James Bond is like, oh yeah, I know what that specific language of flowers fucking nonsense is. That he knows a lot of shit, but he has to do it through this child, she's ostensibly she's not dumb, she's a little fucking kid, basically.
What Mammy and Daddy don't know is that little Anya is a telepath and can read their minds and knows the secret identities and is trying her best to try and help them in their schemes because it's for world peace. She wants to help Daddy to achieve world peace. I gotta do my best.
You've got all these characters around with secrets, and this one child who knows everyone's secret because she can currently read your mind, but she is a dumb little kid and misinterprets the thoughts of the inner workings of people's minds and goes like, oh, I know how to help this situation, and no, you do not know how to help this situation, little kid. Also, they have a precog dog, so that's another thing that's useful / hijinks can happen from.
And just like Anya, nobody knows that this dog can see the future except for Anya, who can see Bond's thoughts of the future. This doesn't really come into play except once or twice in the film, but it comes into play in the manga more often.
As long as you're allowed to bring Bond around, you gotta have Bond. He's part of the family. You need a faithful hound to get into pratfalls.
Yes. So those are your dramatis personae. We also have a number of sort of secondary characters that make their appearance in this film, sort of obligatory. You have the handler and Wise. You have Nightfall, who is another Wise agent who has a massive crush on Twilight and wants him to divorce Yor and have him marry her instead.
In a sham marriage that she then hopes will become a real marriage. Yeah.
Yes. And she's the hyper competent agent, but still holds a candle for Twilight. Let's see, who else? We have Yor's younger brother, who is a part of
he just makes an appearance in this, really.
He makes a brief appearance. He is part of the secret police. His big deal is that he's hyper protective of Yor and super suspicious of Loid, and that's a source of tension.
It's more he doesn't like Loid because, I'm not going to let anybody near my sister. Oh, now we know everyone's saying, why do I not like this guy? Because he's getting near my sister? Because he's actually like an agent from the West come here to upset our civilization.
Who my job as a secret policeman is specifically to catch. Anya's uncle is trying to catch her dad, and I guess technically he wouldn't be too keen on the mam's things if not for the fact that he adores his sister. Yeah.
Yes. And then we have Frankie makes a bit appearance, and he is a Westalis informant / supplier for Wise. Comedic relief character, but I like him a lot. He shows up in a post-credit sequence after he's requested to obtain this non-alcoholic cherry liqueur, which I guess you can mention later. So those are your core people that actually appear in the series proper. And then we have just a couple of bit players for just this movie.
Now, there's something that I want to bring up real quick because it kind of gets at what Yor's kind of plot in the movie is, but also it's something that happened, kind of sort of happened to me in the last couple of days. I just want to talk about it real quick. So
you have to fight a cyborg on an airship?
Yes. My life is crazy when I'm not on the podcast. Anyway,
cool.
No, Yor's girlfriends start telling her, like, here's the signs you need to look for to know if your man is cheating on you. And
Yor has shitty friends at work. Yeah, that is a problem.
And one of them is like he changes his clothes. What's the other one?
He changes his clothes because he's trying to dress up for the new woman. He buys you gifts because he's guilty. Is the third one? What's the second one? Oh, he has to.
He's going on business trips.
Yeah. Business trips, right. Well, okay, so random gifts. Okay, that's one of them. So the Nintendo Switch 2 came out a few days ago. I got mine in the mail, delivered from Walmart. As we're opening the bag and we're dumping everything out of it, there's the Switch. Walmart throws in a can of Coca-Cola and a tube of Pringles because they love me.
America.
Because America.
Good for them.
And then finally, a toe ring falls out of the bag onto the floor.
All right, score.
With 2 little jewels. And I pick it up off the floor and I give it to Nikki. And I was like, here, I guess this is yours now. And then the next random thought in my head was, one of the signs of infidelity is random gift.
I mean, like, you could have spun it around, like, it's just like, will you do me the honor? I was like, I need a toe for this one, actually.
I need a toe.
Did you get down on one knee, is what I'm asking.
Say that again, Brad.
Did you get down on one knee when giving her the toe ring?
While reaching into the bag, yeah.
Well, I had to put the toe ring on the toe, didn't I?
Did you?
Yes, I did.
She said, no thanks, give me some Pringles.
It was so bizarre. Just like, I don't even know how it got into the bag. Like, was it on the person who filled the bag? But was it? I don't know where it came from.
Did they fill it with their feet?
That's I was about to ask. Were they packing the bags with their feet?
I don't know. It's just such a strange thing. Like, why is a toe ring in this bag? But it's definitely not hers. It's definitely not mine. It came from somewhere. Had to have come in the Switch bag.
Cast that thing into the fire, Joseph. Destroy it. If it'll only bring you misfortune.
I should just destroy it.
You don't have a volcano around you anywhere near you can trek to chuck it in.
Well, you might have gotten someone else's order of a Switch, Pringles, Coke, and a toe ring. Like, they might have mixed up those 2 bags, maybe.
Might have been somebody else's. That's fair.
That would be the most charitable and least cursed scenario. Another would be there was a different order with a toe ring in it. I guess it fell out on the shelf that they hold the orders on. It fell in.
Maybe, but
the next most cursed would be maybe the delivery person who brought it to you had a toe ring kicking around in their car for whatever reason, and it fell in.
Well, this was a large,
driving around toe ring,
jacked bald man. So I don't think that's the case.
You never know.
Well, thank God you didn't eat it accidentally, amongst all the Pringles and so forth. Then you'd really be emulating this film.
Oh God. Okay, yeah. We would have had to reenact this whole thing, and I would have had to tell you guys about my experience meeting the Lord of Poops. Well, we'll get there in a moment.
His message to us.
Oh man, yeah. I just wanted to bring that up because that just kind of made me laugh. Like this random toe ring that I have to show Nikki, and then in the back of my head, because I just watched this film, I'm thinking she's gonna think this came from somebody, and I'm not gonna know how to explain this to her.
Let me ask this: is she still wearing the toe ring?
She went to work today, so no, probably not.
Oh, okay. So her work doesn't allow toe jewelry?
No, or jewelry of any kind, rather.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's tough life out there for a football.
Yeah,
no,
that's true.
Toe ring is in the house. I can take a picture of it and put it in the Discord later.
Can you put it on your own foot and take a picture for it?
That's illegal on Discord's terms and services. Don't do that. Yeah.
No, listen. I'm not so hard up that I'm gonna resort to taking feet pics. Okay, I'm not doing that.
Good money.
That's gonna cost us extra.
Let's get back to business.
All right, we'll jet through this this plot summary because I don't think we need to belabor too much.
No, there's not terribly much.
Let's see. So to cut into the signs of infidelity, it's sort of the B plot of this movie is while Loid is receiving sort of his new marching orders from Wise, as he's leaving the secure location, he bumps into Nightfall, and she's wearing a hat, and the wind blows the hat, and he grabs it. But Yor is up on the roof of the government building in which she works, and she spots Loid, and it looks like he is kissing his paramour, thus setting up a suspicion that will linger throughout the rest of the movie and sort of inform the events, but not really. It's just sort of one of those slice of life comedy misunderstandings. that
like
series trades in.
Spy Family is at its heart and at its best a sitcom, and it's one of those wacky sitcom situations that you've gotten yourself into. So that's bubbling away in the background while all the high stakes action is happening, basically.
Yes, I think that's a big part of the charm of this series, is that at its heart it's sort of a comedy slice of life first, and a spy action thriller. Second.
As a friend of ours put it, it's like what if John le Carré, instead of writing his books, he wrote a sitcom plot instead by going, it'll something like this.
Yeah.
So the main core of the plot is Anya is at Eden Academy, and it turns out that they are going to have a baking competition, or a cooking competition for desserts. And Loid, being the person that he is, has done an in-depth analysis, or has deep intel on the principal of Eden Academy, who's going to be judging the event. And he knows that his favorite dessert is a dessert called mere mere, which is a specialty of a town in the north of Ostania called Frigis. So, of course, they use this as an excuse to go to Frigis to sample this dessert, hopefully get a recipe, and learn how to make the mere mere, and earn Anya one more Stella Star, which means that Operation Strix will be that much closer to being a success.
Yeah, and his initial plan is to, like, because he often gets small missions to do during his main mission of Strix. He's like, I'm gonna go down and check that thing out myself. It's like, no, we'll make it a family outing, because again, yours obsessed is like, is he cheating on me? Do I need to improve myself as wife? Do I need to be around so he remembers that I'm here? And Anya's like, don't leave Kid behind. Kid wants to go too. So they make it a family thing, and that kind of continues into the rest of it, where it's just like, yeah, we need to make it a family affair. Like, don't like the pieces, they kind of separate in various parts, but they keep coming back together as a family. So it all works
nothing brings the family closer together than like a nice holiday. Go take out some Christmas markets and foil like a military coup from within our own nation, an old-fashioned blimp attack.
Yeah, that's another big theme of the manga itself, is sort of this found family, and these people come into this arrangement as sort of a convenience, but as they spend more time together, start caring for one another.
Yeah. Where's a fake family stop and a real family begin?
Exactly. Yeah. It's blurring those lines, and so that's really, I mean, anybody who has any media literacy can tell that's what the manga proper is leading up to, is that they will end up being a real family at some point, even though they weren't at the beginning. So
because they're kind of, it's a manufactured one, but it's a found one, and that still makes a family. And often when I'm reading it or watching it, like, you'd have Loid be like, oh, I don't know how I feel about the situation. I was like, you love your wife, you fucking idiot, just pay attention to the shit going around. Like, they're all stupid as hell, and I love the fact that they none of them have figured this out. That they actually really like being a family together.
I tried to joke with it all, is that Lloyd's cover on Strix is meant to be like a psychiatric doctor. Like, I do this good at examining people's heads and emotions and things, and you can't put this together.
Yeah. The other thing I like about this series is, as a father, there's a lot that is it's a little too on the nose. My favorite, there's an example of this in the film where Anya packs a bunch of useless stuff on a trip. That happens on a regular basis, but my favorite one is from the manga. It was a one-off where they go on a skiing vacation, and Anya sees like actually he sees an action hero on TV doing skiing, and she's like, I want to do that. And Lloyd's like, we don't have time to do that. No, we're slammed for the next 2 months. It's like, we can't go skiing. And then there's a single panel of Anya looking at him with like a pouty face, and then it smash cuts to them on the skiing vacation.
Remember your mission, Twilight.
It's too real. Yeah. It gets too real at points.
You love your kid, series. You moron. Yeah.
So they go up to Frigis, and they are at the restaurant that specializes in serving families, and they have mere mere. But while they were about to dig into their delicious mere mere, which is of course the last piece, a guy comes in, a military guy, and he is not with a family. Can somebody tell me his name? Because I did not write it in my notes because I'm not...
Colonel Schneidel. No, Schneidel by name and Schneidel by nature.
Thank you.
And it's just the fact that he has military clout that he can barge into this family-only restaurant and order the last piece of cake, and it's like, oh, we've already served it to that family. He's like, well, they haven't fucking eaten it yet. Soldiers, seize that cake. And it's...
Yeah.
I love that the stakes start, really. It's, well, we need to go there, figure out how to make the cake so we can win the bake-off, so we can, like, get a credit, so we can eventually talk to this world's version of Hitler. But like in this case, like it's the low stakes of is like, well, if you want the cake, it looks like you're going to have to best me in a competition of discerning the kinds of sugar used in baking. I think is what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
And that's where you get like Twilight season fun thing. That's quite a challenge. But luckily, I spent like a year undercover as whatever job I need to be right now. He always uses this whip around. Luckily, I was undercover as in a 3-star Michelin restaurant. So this would be a cakewalk for me.
But he didn't count on the colonel being is it a colonel or a general? I can't remember.
I can't see his rank in the cast system here. He's probably a colonel.
He's a colonel. I did write this down. He's a colonel.
Colonel.
Yeah, the colonel is better at it because he's a gourmand, which is his Bond villain power, I guess. That's his thing.
You got all the sugars too, but also their exact quantities. Like, my guy, he's right. I guess he wins the cake.
I guess he wins the cake that this customer had already been served.
Literally just barges in and taking sweets from a small child. She's still there with the cutlery ready to go, but maybe he'll win. The daddy's got this. Oh no.
It's a good thing that they leave Bond outside the restaurant, because otherwise he would have kicked the dog. Like he seemed that kind of villain. He would have found an excuse to.
Yes.
Gourmet dog meals as well.
The rest of the plot is them going through, well, for a bit, it's going through a Christmas market to gather the ingredients to make this cake.
Merry.
Oh, hey, that's why we're talking about this on the podcast.
Yes.
So the Christmassiness.
I was promised this was a Christmas movie. Come to find out, it's sort of a Christmas movie, but...
When are they going to get to the fireworks factory?
It's Christmassy enough for this. We're gonna accept it. We've done more with less.
It came out at Christmas.
That as well, yes.
That too.
So
they put a lot of snow in the background.
It's about family coming together. We got a kickstart. We got to get this all accomplished by a certain date. They rush to try getting out the door. We gotta pack our suitcases and go off on the family Christmas holiday. It's all in there.
Yeah,
the thing that made it
vacation.
Christmas.
It's a Christmas vacation. Only unlike Christmas vacation, these people actually go somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing that made it Christmassy, or the thing that I was like, okay, this I think is a point in its favor. I was watching it with my partner Shan, and he was saying, because he grew up in Germany a little bit, and I'm gonna fuck this up because I didn't learn German at all. Christkindlesmarkt. Christ Child Mart, like it was giving him vibes of that
Christmas
kind of
market.
Christmas market. Yes, yeah. Except at no point do they eat wurst. Other than that, like it seemed pretty legit.
They become a popular thing. Like they're wheeling those out. Just even in Ireland, like we have whatever big part in the city to be a lot of woolen chalets out. I've been to some in Germany. I was in Berlin for New Year's Eve one year. It was pretty cool. Yeah. And they know how to do it up. Like any excuse to erect a big wooden hall and serve beer out of or mulled whatchamacallits. They'll do it. It's a popular. It's a popular idea. Would you believe it's kind of proliferated? There's a massive one actually in Hyde Park here in London as well. That's a bit more chaotic though. It's kind of like the fucking Oktoberfest. It feels of Christmas markets and trying to go near it.
This might be a silly question, but y'all, those of you who have been to Japan probably answer this. Does Japan have like the American equivalent of like little German towns? like here in the U.S., we have certain little towns that are just done up like, old Bavarian style German villages. Do they have those in Japan too?
Excuse me, as an American, what the hell are you talking about?
You've never been to a little German town, Brad?
No, what are you talking about?
Like you go to like
remember in Ferris Bueller's Day Off where they have the German Pride Parade, and it's that kind of situation,
yes.
but like in one place. Yeah,
but
even I know this, and I'm not from America.
But it's like an actual legitimate building. It's not something. It's not a ramshackle like construction for a festival.
No, it is
all about.
It is 100% a tourist trap. Yes. But it's done up. It's constructed and designed to be like an old Bavarian, sort of style village. And they might have a German restaurant. They might have a brewery. Might have a chocolate, confectionery. But the whole thing is done up just to be like get a little taste of old Germany. And that's just seeing this in this film made me wonder: do they have any of those in Japan?
In Japan. They have a number of like kitsch, sort of old world Europe establishments in Japan. I know that much.
Right.
Do you mean places? We mean places like the Hub, like the chain of quote unquote British pubs.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Or there's those. Okay. That's just what you were talking about.
See, I'm thinking of like specifically. There's a town in Georgia called Helen, and the whole town is it's designed like I keep saying it, an old Bavarian sort of style of 18th century German architecture, and like that's the whole gimmick of the town is that it's just a tourist trap for people who want to have German food.
Well, the closest thing I can think of is that like in certain like towns and cities in Japan, or to be like like a house, maybe like a few houses, maybe like a street even, that's all done on a bit very kind of, I would say like elaborate, maybe kind of a fantasized Western sort of architecture. So it would maybe be something like you would see, like you're imagining, I guess, it could be something like a very kind of steep roofed like wooden chalet in the Alps somewhere, but it's on a street in a small town in Japan or something. Yeah. I've heard of those alright.
There's definitely sort of like the Japanese Western version of Orientalism that you see in the West going on there, for lack of a better description. I wouldn't say there are whole towns devoted to it, but there are definitely whole resort areas devoted to that aesthetic.
I'll say that counts. I'll say that counts is what I'm kind of asking for. I'm just curious if like German culture is sort of as kitschified in Japan as it is here in the US.
Oh, it's definitely kitschified. I can tell you that much.
Well, okay, yeah. Like the picture that I just put in the group chat of this is the town of Helen in Georgia, and that's what the whole town looks like. Except
and the lights are on all year round. You say.
Oh wow!
Yes, it's like that all year round, except for the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree is. I'm assuming the picture was taken at Christmas time. But and I only say this because I've been there myself. But
of course you have.
Of course I have. I'm distracting everybody from talking about anime, so let me just sit back and let y'all continue.
No, it's quite all right.
We're talking about Christmas in general as it applies.
Exactly. That's what I'm doing here.
We should also mention one other key point of the plot, which is while they are on the train to Frigis, Anya intercepts two Ostanian military.
Harry and Marv.
Sorry?
Harry and Marv.
Yes, exactly.
The wet
Harvey and Marv. She uses Bond's power to figure out that there is a treasure chest. She finds a key in the bathroom, and Bond helps her out by finding out that there is a corresponding chest in the luggage car. She goes back to the luggage car, opens up this chest with the key, and finds a single chocolate in an elaborate chest.
Yeah, now she's doing all this for world peace, you understand, because in the vision she saw two shady dudes talking about her on your phone saying, well, if it's for world peace, it twists in my arm here, I guess I gotta eat this chocolate.
It's such a cross to bear. She actually ends up accidentally eating the chocolate, but enjoys it.
It is. I like the way it's an accident. Like, it bounces back and forth. It nearly bounces into Bond's mouth, but then he has obviously a vision of the future where he gets terribly sick because he is a dog, and that is a chocolate. So he bounces it back to her, and she kind of like, oh no, it's falling in my mouth.
Oh
very good.
no! She swallows this chocolate. Take notes. This will be important later.
Yes.
Anyways, cut back to the present. They are collecting all of these items in the Christmas market to make the mere mere, but they have one ingredient that they cannot track down, which is a non-alcoholic cherry liqueur, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
The reason that it's not alcoholic will become important in a few moments. So they're all scrambling to find this, and they reconvene at the hotel, and Loid is like, okay, well, I'm gonna go out and track down this liqueur, whereas
do some spice stuff to try and find it.
Yes. He also contacts Frankie in order to get him to bring it all the way from Berlin, which is half a day's travel, which is the comedic post-credit scene. We'll get back into that. Whereas Anya has gone into her room. We have a bit of a crisis of faith where Yor is concerned about Loid's behavior, and they decide that they need to do things as a family, but Anya has already commiserated with Bond and discovered that there is a shop in Frigis that has this liqueur, so she heads out the window. But come to find out, the chocolate that she had swallowed in an earlier scene contains a microfilm, which is the key to the Colonel's plan, as he wants to leak this information to another nation in order to sort of turn the Cold War between East and West hot. Because
he's trying to reignite the war, basically. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So everybody's trying to track down, the military is trying to track down Anya, while she is out and about on the town in Frigis, going to the store to get the last ingredient needed for the mere mere. She manages to buy it. Thank goodness it's non-alcoholic, so she can buy it as a child. Thank you. Good job. And then she is summarily abducted by the Ostanian military, the colonel is preparing to go rogue and launch a blimp and take this microfilm to the parties that we had just mentioned in order to turn the Cold War hot.
My God.
Anyways. To find out, she had swallowed it, and the two military guys need to make her poop it out. Anya also finds out that she's going to be killed after she poops it out. So
because she can read their minds, so again, they don't need to explain this to the child. She's reading their minds like, oh God, they're going to kill me if I shit, is her understanding of the situation.
Exactly. And so we have a comedy of errors with Anya trying her best not to poop. And we visit the poop god.
She tries so hard not to poop that she blacks out, has a dissociative episode where she meets the god of poop.
Or you could interpret her as ascending because of her good deeds at not pooping, and now she's been granted the gift of being allowed to poop by Jesus.
Okay.
So it's great.
Go. Just let it go. You fought long and hard enough. Just let it go.
The fact that her part in the action set piece is running around in like a Scooby-Doo chase sequence with two inept fucking guards and trying not to shit.
Trying not to shit her pants. It's very good.
It's so good that her stakes are extremely high. They'll kill her as soon as they get the microphone, but like it's so fucking stupid. It keeps the tone level. I think.
It is. It's a balancing act, and I think they pull it off very nicely.
Yes. I should say, I think we need an aside. A big part of Spy Family's sort of rise in popularity was due to the mimetic nature of the faces that Anya makes. And this whole plot arc is absolutely written just to have Anya be able to make all the faces.
All the usual faces, couple of new ones. Yeah.
Strange,
she's got one of those
desperate eyes rolling back into her head.
Yes.
You name
so
it.
we get
Such range. Such range.
We get the classics. We get a couple of new hits. It's all there, folks. I did want to ask Joseph really quickly.
Yes.
Did you watch the sub or the dub?
I watched what did I watch? I watched the dub.
Okay, I was curious. I only ask because on certain key scenes, especially with Anya's delivery, I was watching the sub, but I did roll back to watch the dub because I figured you would be watching the dub.
You know me so well.
What did you think of the dub?
I mean, they're trying very hard to make her seem like an annoying little kid, and I think they pull this off. I don't know what you're really asking me here.
I'm just asking what you thought of. It's not a leading question. But it was really Anya's deliveries on certain lines, like where she's at the shooting gallery and she's like, "I'll see you in hell." I wanted to see how they played that in the dub. And then I was just curious what your thoughts on all of that was.
I mean, I don't know that I can speak to that because I was really just more trying to pay attention to what was going on than the line deliveries.
Okay,
but yeah, that's
well, very important question. Does the same voice, the same actor who does the narration also voice Bond the dog? That's the other job that he had, which invites certain questions. It's just like, yeah, the same actor Kenichi Matsuda, don't have like Bond going off a track of a dog barking. You have a guy going boof boof boof, and that person is also the narrator of the Spy Family as a whole. Which means, are we hearing this all from Bond's point of view?
No. No, apparently in the dub it's two separate actors. Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame.
One guy for narration and Frank Welker for the dog. All right, fair enough.
I mean, Frank Welker's got to stay employed, you guys. No, it wasn't actually Frank Welker, but it could have been.
So they abduct Anya, and through various means, Loid discovers that the military has Anya, and he repurposes an old plane from the war. That's sitting in the town square.
It's established like that the restaurant near the earlier part of the film, like the guy was like, "Oh, that's the plane I flew in the war, and obviously we park it here now as a memory of the old days, and now it's better now." I was like, okay, so they do establish like he has access to a plane. He didn't just appear from nowhere.
Right. Yes, they do lead up to it. He repurposes that in order to catch up with the blimp, and then this also dovetails nicely into the mission that he had gotten from Wise, which is to recover the microfilm. And Nightfall shows up appropriately enough to sort of fill Loid in on all of the goings-ons with the military and the microfilm. And he figures out, that what's happening to Anya and his mission from Wise kind of are related, so he hops on the plane to do his due diligence and recover his daughter, and maybe also recover the microfilm. And Yor also hops along for a ride secretly.
I like the way it's such a well written, like, not intricate, but everything's like connected. Where Yor's moment of crisis is like where he's just like, "I'm gonna go take care of it. You wait here, honey, with the kid," that kind of thing. And she's like, "Well, the kid's gone. I'm gonna hop in the landing gear." But she doesn't realize like the one woman who is, I guess, her main romantic rival with her fake husband, it was there in the hotel dressed as a maid, kind of thing. It's just like, but she didn't know that. But it's just the idea is like, no, you're right to be chasing him at this stage, and keep it all in the family. Yeah,
we need to have also this contrive a way that we keep our individual family members separate, so they don't each blow each other's covers because they're all lying to each other, so we can't have them enter in all at the same time. We gotta separate them. So,
and they do establish that earlier with Anya when she gets the Bond's precog. There's that liquor down in the shop. Is like, I could just go out and tell them that now, and she imagines in her head of her dad going like, "Wait, the dog's psychic and you're psychic? Oh, I'm dissolving this family immediately," because she's a small child and I can't reveal any of these. And I was just like, oh yeah, they do need to keep it secret from each other. And she's like, okay, I can't tell them I'm psychic. They can't know that one is an assassin, the other one's a spy. We'll keep it all separate. So they do get to separate in this. It's nearly like a blimp helicarrier at this stage. Like it's one of those farcically big ones that I'm always fond of when they show up in film.
It's like two Hindenburgs trapped together with an aircraft like in between it.
Exactly. This finale, I kept trying to compare it in my head to. It's either like The Rocketeer or Captain America, or it's a Joe Johnston film of some kind. But I appreciate it either way.
A massive thing explodes and falls out of the sky. Yeah. This is all modern filmmaking theory here.
Yeah, it's definitely. I can see the Captain America influence when Bucky shows up. Or extremely more cyborg Bucky, I think is the way you'd call him.
Yes.
It's definitely more like something that would show up in like the first Captain America one, saying this is World War II, but we could totally have cyborgs made of this, like with the pistons and gears and a Gatling gun.
It's also like the look at the long hair and the black makeup across the eyes when his gas mask thing eventually comes off. Loid has to fly the plane into the hangar under heavy fire, and then he gets out and he's constantly hopping between disguises, whereas Yor has to come out and kick everyone's ass in between her and her family. As politely as she does as well is the other thing.
She's still got a very mother bear thing going on when Harry and Marv are menacing Anya earlier on the train. She just off screen just devastates the two of them. She's usually very polite and tries to do her best, but she's got this protective thing about her child she hasn't quite figured out yet.
You love your kid, you idiot. Yeah.
You idiots.
It's like the two ways of going about any video game. You can either do it with spycraft, or you can just brute force it.
Fight or act.
Yes.
Mercy. Anyways, I've been playing a lot of Deltarune. Where were we? So, all of the entirety of the Forger family minus Bond are on the aircraft now. Anya manages to cut free from her pursuers and finds a bathroom proper, and this is where she finally gets to let go of her burden. She is recaptured at some point, and the Colonel instructs the two goons to go down and basically go rummage through the septic tank to try to find a piece of microfilm, which sounds like a very difficult task. I don't feel any. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes.
No,
especially
the other thing
is
it is established with. Yeah, it is established with him that he will kill a guy because he killed one before he boarded the airship. It's like, that guy was a spy for the enemy, and it was just like, was he though, or are you just like really keen on killing guys? Like, it's because everyone's...
Sir, that's a war crime. It'll be a war soon enough.
He keeps saying that the whole time. Yeah.
Can't it be both? All right.
Yes. Loid makes his way up to the flight deck disguised as another member of the military, but the Colonel quickly finds him out, and a firefight ensues. But in the ensuing melee, Loid manages to adopt another disguise of the Colonel, and we get the classic, no, shoot him.
Who do I shoot?
He's the real imposter. Loid, of course, being the hero of the story, or the protagonist of the story, wins out. And rescues Anya, who is being held below deck. Just keeping her there just in case, I guess, as a card in the
I think it's like if it didn't come out in her shit, I'm gonna gut her later. Is basically the plan.
That's right. That was the reasoning.
And Anya's plan is like she can hear that they're about to deploy the war crime tear gas in the cockpit.
Right, and
so she needs to save her dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
She manages to open the windows in order to save Loid. Yor, meanwhile, is fighting with a cyborg who has machine gun arms and a giant pile of ammunition for his torso.
He's got pecksmith of ammunition. Niall, what's the fucking guy in the trailer? He has to reload his fists to get in the fight. It's one of the Mission Impossible movies.
Oh, you think of Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill, yeah.
It's Henry Cavill when he has to reload his fists. Yeah, so this guy has guns for arms and pecs made of bullets. So he's like, and all she's got is knives. So you think is like, well, she's very good, but it's not going to do well against this guy. But then you see her moving, and it's like, oh god, yeah, this guy's fucked. That's not a human way to move.
You see her going super speed. She's trying to attack him or just like find an opening or fend off his boost. It's like, she's using a lipstick all this time, and it's just like, but I have to look this up, but like, because she's basically kind of sketched like all over him and lit a trail, like, it's like a tool thing. We just like set it on fire, and then like the trail of it lights up and ignites the dude and blows him up. But lipstick, is that flammable? I suppose I didn't think this is like the Cold War, the pseudo 60s, and like maybe all the oils and things and old lipstick.
More dangerous chemicals in your makeup, yeah. The older technologies.
It's a special Soviet spy lipstick. It's highly explosive.
Well,
but again, it's the idea of taking the gift that her husband gave her, like as a gift, is like, oh, she seems really down. I wonder what's wrong with her. I'll get her a gift. Where she's like, a gift, that's a sign of infidelity, and then she takes that, and it's like taking both her femininity and her husband's love and using it to fucking kill a cyborg, and I'm just like, yeah, yes. that's a proper family outing.
Yes, with the added like classic shonen anime trope of like, hey, remember that thing we introduced earlier? I'm going to use it to defeat this seemingly undefeatable enemy using my smarts and wits. Yeah. So she defeats the cyborg guy. I'm sure he has a name. He will not be remembered.
Type F or something like that. F. He just had a code name or something.
Yeah.
Like press F.
Yes. We press F to pay respects to this character who is summarily executed in a ball of fire. The Forger family reunites and have to crash land the airship in the lake outside of Frigis. They make their recovery.
Because we spent the first part of the movie in the town, and we like, oh, this is a lovely Christmas town. Oh no, it's going to get exploded. So they have to save it in the climactic end scene.
So Loid has his Captain America moment where he's like, I've got to crash this plane or everyone's going to die.
Let's all crash this plane as a family.
Let's all crash this plane as a family.
Exactly.
Can we just have one Christmas where this family does something together?
So they,
bro, what do you want for Christmas? I want to decide who lives and who dies. Sorry.
Yay.
No, it's all good. They spend the rest of their time in Frigis, ostensibly learning how to make the mere, and return to Berlin, where they come to find out that the competition has been delayed and will no longer be judged by the principal. Because he has fallen ill, so now the vice principal will be judging it, and Loid consults his
where's he
intel
from?
He's from the south of Ostania, and they will be making, I think, a fruit tart, and so they're planning another trip in order to figure out how to make a fruit tart to please the vice principal, and that's Spy Family Code White. Except we find out that Frankie made his way up to Frigis way too late and is having a very poor time of it, because that's Frankie for you.
The things he does for love, character. Man.
He can never win. That's our movie.
So in the sequel, they're going to make a completely different type of dessert.
Yes,
they're definitely going to draw out this one plot point into the sequel. They're definitely using that to set up for a sequel.
It would be funny if they did. It won't be funny if they did.
It would actually be funny if they did.
Yeah. Yes. It would actually be very funny. It's like, yes, this is still about sweets.
Spy Family. The movies. Yeah. I'm a big fan of the Spy Family movies where they try and make a dessert and then get involved in a high-stake action sequence to save the world war from breaking out. Yeah. I know that series of films.
Yeah, it's just like Kitchen Nightmares, where like he goes in wanting to help like a beat-down restaurant, but actually he helps this failing marriage come to terms with itself and find the love back in her heart again. I'll also visit the restaurant.
The entire series ends when Loid finally gets to make a very nice lemon pound cake.
I think he already can do that, but doesn't know why he's doing that. That's when he'll have the breakthrough.
Look! Being able to do it is one thing. Being allowed to do it is a completely different thing.
God damn it, Nightfall! Why can't you just like maybe make a cake have not be about geopolitics for one evening? You've had one too many mulled wines, I think, about 8 on my count, but I don't care. Here's what I think of you. Yeah.
So I think that's Spy Family Code White. I have not contributed much to this podcast, I realize, but I will say I did have a very good time watching this. It was very fun. I enjoyed it.
You're like I like the case study here or the test case. Like, how does this work? Like amongst a relative newcomer to this,
right? And
effective.
Like I said before, I think this works very well as sort of an introduction to the series because I picked it up very quickly. It explained everything the way it needed to, and past 5 minutes, you're off and running, and it's great. It's a good time.
Yeah,
but did it tempt you to watch the show or to read the manga? That's the thing. The guys with the money want you to do. Well, I assume it didn't.
I'll tell you this: it did not, but this conversation did. Like, having heard you three talk about it and kind of talk about sort of the rest of the show as it is, I might actually go and try some of it out. So, thank you, and the studio also thanks you because this is advertising on your part to me.
Yeah, well, they're trying to push it pretty hard to get it out there. Like, we've seen that the time with Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning that they did there in the poster I shared before.
Oh yeah.
They came out in the same year, and it's just these are kind of like each other. Let's try and catch some of that heat out of them and catch some of their glow. But it is like quite a phenomenon. Like it's popped up in places again. A little bit of video game chat. Like they had not Yor as a character, but like a special skin for Chun-Li, I think, in Street Fighter 6.
Yes, yeah, they had the character. They had the whole battle hub like done up in Spy Family stuff, and the whole battle pass was related to Spy Family.
Oh wow,
it was a good time.
Yeah, because I think the TV show got put on Netflix there a little while back ago, but it was still there. That got some eyes into it too. It's just like to kind of present it in this way, like it's funny even looking at it after like so many decades of government sponsored like programs trying to push people into like have a family, like well we're a social support and not getting any of it. But I think something like Spy Family is probably has been like done more to try and like encourage people to like to have kids or start a family or adopt a child than any of those government things done. But all the money is thrown at them. In years.
Start a sham family and it'll become a real one day. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Sham family for my real friends, real family for my sham friends. Is that how it goes? I don't know. Never mind.
Nothing's as annoying as real family, so yeah, maybe.
Sure, why not? Let's move on to the Crankometer, where we can rate this feature film and then be on our merry way. The Crankometer is our patented XY axis for rating Christmas movies. The X axis is how Christmassy it is. The Y axis is how good we thought it was. So, gentle friends, how Christmassy is Spy Family Code White?
Ooh, that's a tough one. It's leaning Christmas, but it's not Christmas. That's the difficulty,
Right.
Is it Christmas, or is it like a similar, like a emotion or sensing, like hig, that like kind of nebulous term for like that Scandinavian, like it's all about big jumpers and cozy warm fires and hearty meals inside the cabin somewhere. Is it that?
The trappings of it. Yeah, exactly.
I guess the better question is how well does it capture the spirit of the holiday season? How about that?
Well, as aforementioned, like there was a kind of a rush, a deadline to get somewhere by a certain date. Like,
True.
It's about like learning, like what brought us together as a family and doing things as a family.
There's an important meal you can't fuck up. It turns out it's dessert in this movie, but close enough.
It's Mammy has so many drinks and tells Daddy what she really thinks about him.
That's true.
You're
actually,
really
yeah.
selling me on this. Actually, I was prepared to be down on it, but there are really some pertinent themes here.
At no point do they say Jesus or anything. Like it's like that's not a fucking question at all. Like, but it's got all these little bits, and I was like, that's very Christmassy. At no point is there like a Christmas tree and they all sing carols and stuff. It's like no, but
we
the
are
family
supposed
has to come together over the holidays, and it's like it's all snow and themed. And sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to agree with you. Like we're supposed to do these things as a family, and isn't that the most important thing?
It's legally distinct Christmas.
Legally distinct Christmas.
It's off-brand, store-brand Christmas. Everybody knows it's Christmas. Let's not beat around the bush, right?
Great value Christmas, yes.
It's a December film.
It is a December film. Thank you. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. So, I mean,
in the same category as Moonstruck, then.
Sure, yeah. So that's gonna get it. I say get it at least a positive 1. I'm not gonna go negative digits on this.
No,
not negative. Yeah, but it's
worse
not like,
to be flat.
It's more kind of getting above neutral by virtue of I suppose the message being relayed here.
Right. But then there's sort of the underlying sort of stresses of the holiday season that you guys talked about. Being together at family, having to cook the perfect meal, all these little things that kind of bump it up.
Not being allowed to shit.
Yeah, not being allowed to shit where you want to and when you want to, because because the house is full and there's people involved that you don't want to shit in front of.
And they might gut you for the microfilm. Yeah, I mean, we've all had that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's universal. That bumps it up to at least a 2 for me. I don't know about you guys.
Go 1 or 2. It's your scale, but definitely not neutral. At least a 1, maybe a 2 if you're being generous.
Yeah, and I think one thing that Brad said to me off the podcast was we've done more with less. So
okay, we'll call it 2 because it came out 3 days before Christmas originally. How about that?
That's fair. That's fair. So a 2 on our x-axis. So the y-axis, did we all enjoy this? Is the real question.
Well,
I enjoyed it enough to go see it in the cinema when it came out the first time in April of last year.
I wanted to see it in theaters, but I didn't get a good chance to do it. I'm really interested to hear your take, Joe, as the resident person outside of this sphere.
Okay, so I guess it's my time to step up. I will say, for my part, I thought it was very well put together. I enjoyed the story. I thought the family was fun, and their antics and adventure was engaging. I'm gonna have to give it a 3.
Oh,
I'm gonna be nice and say a 3. I don't want to oversell it because I don't know, my ratings kind of skew weird sometimes, but I had a good enough time with this that I'm perfectly happy giving this a 3.
Wow.
Yeah, and Brad, you stepped away for a moment, but I told our guests that this conversation made me want to go and check out more. So
really,
there's that. Yes,
that's about as ringing endorsement as an endorsement as I've ever heard. Dwayne.
I thought it was okay. Yeah. No, I really liked the movie.
Yeah, it was kind of mid. No,
I was worried in the first half that it was a lot of shenanigery and dicking around and not really getting much done. But then you see kind of the next part of it is a lot of it's well set up, and they establish things they're going to use later on. I was like, okay, that's actually pretty good. And then it ends in a big crazy fucking action sequence, so I'm fucking delighted by the end of it. It's kind of the thing. I was just I was having a nice time, and then I was having a really fucking fun time. Is the trajectory of it, which I think is the right way to go.
Yeah.
I watched it myself this time in a couple of sittings because something happened, I needed to go and tend to it.
Sure.
But kind of by doing that, I was able to kind of just maybe focus down a little more deep into it than when I just saw it in the initial thing again from seeing it in the cinema nearly 2 years ago now. And I thought it felt like a touch long when I saw it in the cinema, but watching it in the kind of chunks because it's nearly 2 hours long, which is that's stretching the bounds maybe for a kind of a mostly comedy thing. But I suppose the action is big enough in there that it gets that across as well. It's a good thing to have the kind of the plausible deniability of it being just a film out because they're really testing the boundary of the cover here. Some of the other instances they get involved in, not in this scale. None of them involve an exploding battleship blimp thing.
Yes,
it was all covered up. It was fine now. At no point does Loid explain how he can fly a World War II bomber plane. He does explain how he can fly to York. He does explain to the family when they're all meeting up at the cockpit, where it's just I interned at freaking helicarrier one summer when I was a teenager or something like that. Like it's just utter fucking nonsense. And yours like, wow, it. I know she's a bit of a dope sometimes, a bit not a dope. She's very believing of lies, that kind of way.
Yes.
But like that's a bit of a stretch. But even then, it's just like it's played for laughs, so it doesn't really need to be that serious as a thing, as him explaining all the prior jobs.
I give it the credit now to didn't fall to the temptation to involve every member of the cast in it all at once. And to give them maybe like little cameos and little like lines like that, but do not like have their hands in the action, because again, they're trying to be a bit smarter about this and not try and drive people away, try and bring them in. So keep the focus on the family, as the saying was.
I want to go back and reiterate something that I think Dwayne said a moment ago. I do appreciate the way the film is kind of, I guess, bifurcated between like the first half is all the family shenanigans and the second half is just all the ridiculous action scene stuff that's the stuff you go to a movie for. Whereas the first half is like, this is the stuff this is what the show is, and then the second half is like, well, but we're trying to get you to pay to see it in a movie theater for all of this stuff. And I guess in that sense, I still watched it at home on a TV, but I still had a great time watching it.
See, I think a lot of Spy Family, like, it would work perfectly well in a live action format, with the exception of how would you get a child as good as Anya to just be Anya? Yes. Impossible. Other than that, like the setting's all the same. You'd have to have good costuming. You'd have to film it in one of those German towns or something like that.
Yeah.
Just to get the kind of look of it down, and we have to have old looking technology.
Just be wherever they film all those Hallmark movies, because they are always like
exactly yes,
and they also use very old technology as old as their values nearly.
Okay, so you'd have to film it in the Hallmark town to do it right, but then you wouldn't have as much assassinations or like cool gunfights. It's like you're missing out in that second half.
Yeah, they gotta follow the rules for like she can't assassinate him until the very end of the film. No low cut tops.
See, I have an idea in my head now. The only way to do this as a live action film is for Anya to be a CGI character.
Oh God, yeah.
No, I had the same thought, and I had the same cursed thought, but I put it out of my mind.
Once you cross that threshold, you may as well go full tilt into Crazy Town. And,
yeah.
And do
claymation Spy Family. It could happen.
Well, I think
you gave it a 3.
I did.
I'd give
a 3 sounds fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a 3 is fair given general audiences.
Why would you?
I would rate it higher, but that's because I'm a fan of the series. So It's like I'm already locked in, right?
Well, I mean, if you guys want to go higher, I'm willing to be the odd man out and say, yeah, let's go higher.
What's it out of?
Out of 5.
Out of 5.
Oh, I'd be tempted to go like as far as 4. I think personally, but I 3. I'm fine with a 3. A 3 is like. 3 is good, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Feature length shit joke puts it up to a 4. There you go.
Okay, Niall's the deciding vote.
We got the King Solomon in this business, all right.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of like poop humor and stuff, but that had me fucking reeling. Like that was
like the cinematic like caliber, like busting the go for a shit.
To put it into perspective, it was the one scene where I thought, man, I really wish I could have seen this in a theater on a big screen. Just like the painterliness of the scene and like all of that. Exactly.
Just the sound system and all the gurgling from her stressed out guts is like, it'd be magical.
Oh man. Well, I think that did it. That clinched it. That's a +2, +4 on our crankometer scale. I'm as surprised as you are, and folks, that's going to wrap it up for anime for the calendar year 2025. We will put it away for another 2 years or however long it takes for Brad to discover more holiday anime stuff to make me watch. And
well, you've broken the seal now. Is this leaked over into another month? That means.
Well, I remember we did this last time as well, so it's not unprecedented.
Oh, okay.
But Niall, Dwayne, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I had a really great time talking about this with you.
I'm glad. It was like it was good to come back on. It's been a hell of a long time.
It's been a long time. Yes. Where can our listeners find you on the internet, and or is there anything you'd like to plug while you're here?
I suppose we'll give us like where to find us individually first.
Sure.
I suppose it mostly can be reached on the Blue Sky at juvenile delinquent. I'll send that on to you and put it in the show notes. But look for a Niall Flanagan on Blue Sky, a juvenile delinquent, and that's me. And just be there doing what I do, being a dandy guy, enjoying cartoons.
I needed to look up what the fuck I'm called on Blue Sky because I forgot. Because I don't have to look me up. I'm me.
You're Slipshod.
Slipshod on Blue Sky. It'll be a dead giveaway because it'll say Dwayne at the start and then Slipshod. But just Slipshod Blue Sky thing. I need to fucking put more shit up there. But yeah, I'm found in and about there.
Yeah, I see it now. Juvenile delinquent .Blue Sky. That's social. Yeah.
There it is. We'll
yeah.
Put those in the show notes.
Thank you kindly.
Let people find you.
A work in progress now we have as well is just we're trying to get back on the old podcast pony. We were Secret of Sarah Mattis was our banner we flew under. We sailed under for talking about cartoons as we enjoy them in general. Things get in the way. But we've got another idea because spun off from that. We're gonna go full bore on. It's called Drawn or Alive. Whereas as I kind of put it, for a band of art lovers ride out on the hunt for the shape-shifting monsters of live-action cinema and animation. So I think we did more just comparing a live-action thing with its animated counterpart or vice versa, and finding out which one did it better, Drawn or Alive. So I have drawnorive.com, putting that together, and still introductory thing up there at the moment. But once we get through the massive spreadsheet we have and pick up some things to kind of start off from, we'll be getting some recordings and shows up and going in the very near future. So please look forward to it and go to drawnorive.com for more information.
Excellent.
Weekly, we're on Let's Go, the weekly podcast about weekly anime that we happen to be watching. We're doing that week to week, and whenever there's new stuff that we're watching, and sometimes not so because there's too many fucking things. There's always things to watch. Good lord. That'll be over on Dynamite in the Brain. Let's Go.
Yeah. Or if you go youtube.com//Let's Go JoJo Show. It started out as Let's Go JoJo, talking about just the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cartoon as that was coming out. But then other things got wrapped up into the mix. So the name is just well, it's what YouTube took at the time. So go there too, and you can find our pal Brian Smith. He's a mastermind of that. He'll have those. He's on charge to upload stuff of that. But go listen back to them there.
Excellent. If you guys ever need anybody to talk about the live-action Speed Racer, as a fan of the live-action Speed Racer, but not specifically the cartoon, I'm your guy.
I have a very large spreadsheet to tell you to send on to you. People talk to my people, but sort something out.
And if you ever need somebody to talk about the live-action Flintstones, as somebody who watched a ton of the Flintstones as a child, but never watched the live-action movie, but I'm ready for it to break my brain, you know where to find me.
You will also get a spreadsheet in your letterbox just tomorrow morning, I think.
I'm also requesting to be there for that one because I want to hear Brad just crumble into dust.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right, guys. And Bradford, of course, thank you so much for joining me once again for your biannual torture chamber called Anime.
I think it was Oops All Bangers this time. We had a good one.
It was a pretty good year, all things considered. Yeah.
Pretty favorable. Yeah, I think everything came out quite positive.
Yeah, I mean, I did not expect to enjoy Spy Family as much as I did. I kind of knew I was going to enjoy Gundam Wing War in the Pocket, but I had a great time, and let's do this again in a couple years. So,
absolutely.
I'll hold you to it.
We'll do it. That does it, folks, for Christmas Creeps. If you'd like to follow us on the internet, we are on all the socials at Christmas Creeps, Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, all the fun stuff. YouTube, anywhere you get your podcasts at Christmas Creeps. We would really appreciate it if you would leave a star rating, a review, anything to let people know that this is a show that you enjoy. And anything you want to email us, you can email us at xmascreeps@gmail.com. Brad, am I forgetting anything at all?
I think you're good.
Oh, the Discord. We need to plug the Discord more. Show note for the Discord is in, the
show notes.
The show notes. The link to the Discord is in the show notes, and you should click on that and join us because that's where all the fun conversations happen. I'm trying to wrap this up now, so I'm going to stop talking. I've been Joseph Wade for Christmas Creeps.
I'm Bradford for Christmas Creeps.
I'm Dwayne.
I'm Niall for Drawn or Alive. Look forward to it.
Have a great night, everybody. Creep it real. We'll see you later. Good night.
Good night.
See ya.
See you in hell.
Happy Christmas.